Hey, hi, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Nonsense Retrospective.
Yes.
I'm your host.
Sorry, on.
I'm your host as always, Rick, and joining me equally as always is Devon.
Hello, hello, hello. Today was a bit bum-clenchingly close, shall we say.
Yeah, slightly chaotic to say the least.
Yes.
There was you had basically an hour to do a 25-minute drive and
Well,
another 25-minute drive.
just to be clear, I wasn't doing the driving. I asked the person in my household who drives, which is my mother, and I was like, "Can you,
Yep.
can we do this, please?" And she was like, "Okay." I'm like, oh, thank
So it
you.
was a gas, gas, gas moment.
I told her very specifically, I'm in a rush, but I'm not in a rush. You know.
Okay.
Like, I want to
Yeah, yeah,
get
yeah.
there and get this done as soon as possible, but not to the detriment of road laws.
Yeah, yeah. You don't want to do it illegally. You don't want to do
No.
nothing illegal just for the sake of one stream.
Uh, well,
But yeah,
it's more the risk of causing somebody serious harm that I was
yeah, yeah,
worried about.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know what
yeah.
mums are like when you say this is an emergency. You have to stress it's not an emergency. Emergency. It doesn't matter if it doesn't happen. But
Man, I wonder what's worse: Mum being expediting the car drive because it's an emergency, or because she's angry.
hmm, I've never encountered angry, uh, angry driving.
You never played Banjo Kazooie, did you?
No.
Nah, no worries. Okay, but yeah, there was a gag at school that whoever's mum had the worst driving got dubbed Gruntilda because of the way that the cartoonish boss just went.
Now, I think the limits of my knowledge of Banjo Kazooie are literally that 3 second art clip from, oh, what's his name? Two Snacks of Corone going Ikum Bokum.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She does it so cutely, and then the original sound plays, and then she does it all serious. It's so adorable.
Combo, combo.
Yeah, she does that face and all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But yes, Rick,
Today,
did you say what we're doing today, or?
well, I haven't done yet. Today, we're doing a little bit of a sequel to one of our previous retrospectives. We're talking about Mass Effect 3. We might have been talking about all of them in one go, but again, we split it up just like Dragon Age because BioWare be like that.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But before we get into the meat of it, I'm going to start our time-honored tradition of the nonsense asinine hypotheticals. And do you have one for me today?
I do. It's a little bit mundane, but I think you said your one is as well, so we're all evened out on that front. I don't think I've asked this before. I might have asked it about a different franchise, but today we're in Mass Effect. So, you get isekai'd into the Mass Effect universe. What job do you take to survive?
Assuming that I'm human,
Assuming that you are just you. You have your knowledge of the universe, but otherwise you are just you.
I am just me. I have my knowledge of the Mass Effect universe. I don't have any magical powers. I can't get an implant to get biotics because you have to be born with at least some knowledge of it. So I can't just go around and kick about, be a vanguard, and be a cool kid.
Not really, no.
Uh, to survive, I'd probably be a diplomat on the Quarian fleet because the mothership on the Quarian fleet never gets destroyed unless you kill all of them. But if you do, then you're a heartless bastard.
But how
So
would you
yeah.
get that role?
Well, you asked me what job I'd do.
But how would you get such a role? Like, it's got to be somewhat real. I know we're talking about Mass Effect universe, but it's got to be somewhat believable. Like
Well,
you can't get
I'd use
isekai'd into another world and instantly be like, I'm now the princess's concubine. Ah.
and I'd use my out of game in universe knowledge
Hmm.
to wheedle my way through the alliance slash human council ranks
I just,
until I can. Yeah,
I don't know if anyone's got that amount of knowledge to give them that amount of a fair play, amount of a way to weasel through. But hey, man, if you think you can do
yeah.
it,
There's a bit of conservation of detail going on. Like, if I choose to be a technician, then they're just red shirts. They just as soon as there is a mission where you see a red shirt, the red shirt is die.
this is true. Mass Effect
And
2
that
was
is
full of that shit.
yeah, that's probably the thing I actually have the most real world, experience slash knowledge slash ability to learn in. But unfortunately, if you see a technician, they are die.
I think someone's actual best bet is to try and get an Asari sugar mama.
Yeah,
But
yeah, maybe so, maybe so.
it doesn't really matter what you look like so much as long as you have a personality that an Asari can dig, because they get down with every creature. Like, who gets turned on by a Hanar?
I
Asari
mean,
do.
yeah. Well, they've got the tentacles in common.
I feel like that's a hentai trope for men, not women.
Well, it's for the women. It's like they've got little Asari head tentacles, which Turians think look like Turian head fringes, and humans think look like hair. Like everyone thinks they look like something close enough to their race that they go, "Oh yeah, I see the attraction now." Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
Even
that's the gag in Mass Effect 2. You got that bachelor party with the Solarian,
yeah.
and he's just like, wait, what if Asari are subconsciously affecting us with like biotic that because they're naturally biotic, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah. Every single one is
Yeah.
biotic to a degree.
So it's like, what if they're subliminally influencing us and blah blah blah, and it just cuts to the Turian going, dude, don't ruin Asari for me.
Yeah, pretty much, pretty much. But yeah, I'd try and get up the political spectrum because when was the last time you saw a politician die in Mass Effect? It was probably in Mass Effect 1 when some of them did.
Apologies for people who are going to be hearing me coughing. I've got a bit of a tickle. It's not the big C, well, the minor big C. So
the little C.
The C that is currently a problem around the globe.
Yeah. The everyone C.
Yeah.
But yeah, my one for you is a little bit mundane, and it doesn't have to be limited to Mass Effect. But what is your favorite alien race? And I think I know one of the answers to this.
That's a broad question.
It is. So the two answers are favorite alien race to look at, watch, and enjoy in a media format, and the other one is for boning.
Wow. I don't know, man. There's a lot of weird alien species that are just OCs in one-shot webcomics that I'd kind of like to bone.
Yeah, fair enough. I can see that.
I don't really watch that much space stuff, so my knowledge is kind of vague at best.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Krogan are pretty damn cool.
Yeah, they are.
They are. They're up there, even though they're just space frogs with roid issues.
Well, yeah, either that or space turtles.
I like space frogs because they eat anything. Let's be honest.
They do, yeah.
That's the problem. Actually, is the only two space franchises I really subscribe to are Star Wars and Mass Effect.
True.
You know?
Fair enough.
I like Twi'leks, but who the fuck don't?
They're basically the Asari of Star Wars.
They are. They're literally genetically like engineered just to be whores, and that goes for the men and the women.
They're not engineered. They're born on a planet where it's really really sunny, and there's like there's a hot side and a cold side, and they live in the little band in between. So they're always like stripped down, damn near nude on their home planet, and they're used to it. They're used to that as a cultural thing. So when they get taken as slaves, because they're essentially savages when they got discovered, they got guns now. They got the warrior culture. They always had the warrior culture, but now they've got the warrior culture with guns, so they can fend people off now. But they're still prime targets.
It was actually one of the more interesting parts of the Clone Wars series, and when they went back there in Bad Batch. Like, it's so interesting seeing this culture that has been basically the bulk of the universe sees them as little more than dancers and eye candy, and they look good. But then you go to their home planet where they've been fighting for X amount of years, because apparently it was quite hotly contested between the Separatists and the Republic for some fucking reason.
Yeah.
And, there's the battle-hardened generals, and they're still sexy as fuck. Yeah.
Man. There used to be an expanded universe thing where if you had an apostrophe in your name, you had honor, and if you didn't, you were a piece of shit.
Okay, that's weird.
So this mainly went for Twi'leks, but it extended to when they interacted with other people as well. If they respected you, they would put an apostrophe in your name. Like where Jantilles became where Jantilles.
That's so fucking dumb, though.
Because and then he says, "Well, what does it sound like if you take the apostrophe out?" And he just like he just like started chuckling and went, "It sounds like donkey doo doo."
Uh,
Which is why Bib Fortuna has two names rather than Bib Fortuna. But then, if it was Bib Fortuna, then it would be wearing a bib for eating tuna. So,
bit of a tangent. My brother revealed to me the other day that he didn't realize Bib Fortuna is the person Boba Fett shot at the end of The Mandalorian. I went, how the fuck do you not? Like, I know he's gross now, but it looks the same. He instantly recognized Boba. He's like,
yeah. Yeah, he's been eating a Jabba diet this entire time.
It's apparently one of the perks of ruling Tatooine is you get to be a fat shit, and we can say this: we're fat shits.
Yeah. It's a perk and an expectation, indeed.
You say that Boba's still. Well, I know he's only just taken over, but he's like, "Argh. Argh."
Yeah, he chooses. Yeah, he chooses to share his feast table with his retainers and friends and guests and all that, rather than eating the whole thing for himself while everyone else watches.
Yeah, man.
Which is a very Jabba thing to do.
I did like how they had the feast table over the pit, though.
Yeah, that was a good move.
That was very funny.
Yeah. I've not seen yesterday's episode yet.
I'll give you some advice. Don't fucking look at the episode title before you watch it.
Okay. I'll do my best.
The episode title is shown to you really early on, but the thing that gets spoiled by the title happens before the title comes out in the show.
Sure.
So
it's like a pre-credits scene that does the thing.
Although that being said, if you paid attention to the last episode, especially to the music, you probably know what's going to happen in this next episode.
Yeah, we'll find out. Find out.
It was a damn good episode. My brother didn't really like it that much, but I'll be honest with you.
He didn't like the Ahsoka episode either, because he's like, "Who's this bitch?"
He liked the Ahsoka episode. For some reason, he didn't know who Ahsoka was, but he liked it, I think.
Oh yeah.
It's one of those weird things where I tend to not talk to him about nerd stuff, because a lot of the time it's like, "What do you think of this episode?" It's like, it's a bit shit." I'm like, okay. There's no pleasing you. The best one of the
series, yeah.
He liked the Luke Skywalker reveal at the end of Mando, but like, there's something wrong with you if you didn't like that. Like,
everyone likes when someone gets out a glow stick and starts swirling it, especially when it's one-sided and no one else is dueling them. They get to power fantasy all the way through everything.
Yeah, man. Here's the problem, right, with Mass Effect. It's so easy to just divert and go, let's talk about Star Wars for a bit.
I mean, yeah, because like I think we talked about it in Mass Effect 2/1. Mass Effect 1 was essentially Cars of the Old Republic.
Yeah, man. You told me before many a time that Dragon Age is just what they did when they no longer had Dungeons and Dragons, and Mass Effect is what they did when they lost Star Wars.
Yeah, and to their credit, they made two very interesting and diverse universes.
Yeah.
Universes?
Universi. I'm pretty sure that's incorrect.
Yeah. But yeah, you got Krogans for just watching and being entertaining, and do you have one for Pound Town or no?
What?
Favorite race? Are you going to stick with Twi'leks or?
I'd bang any alien, like except for an Elcor. Like as long as they're not too bestial, you know. Hanar's and I just said their name, but it's gone out my brain.
Hanar and Elcor, yeah.
Elcor. My brain was saying Rancor, and I knew that was wrong. Like,
yeah, that's also wrong.
Yeah. Like, if they're sentient and they don't look too beastly, I'd give it a go.
Mm-hmm.
But like Elcor are just look too much like pack beasts. I know they're not, but that's what they look like. And Hanar, well, they're just fucking squid monsters.
Yeah, Elcor just look like elephants with amputated trunks.
They're not.
It's a tough sell.
It's like I said, they look like animals. Like I'd even give a Wookiee a go. Fuck it. But you know,
as far as we're aware, we've not seen a female Wookiee. So you got to assume they've got breasts of some kind, right? Because they're mammals. Yeah. Or they might go the gorilla route where they only get them when they're pregnant.
Maybe so. Yeah, well, just nips then. But then again, they've all got. They might not have all nips. They're too furry to tell.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure that even the male ones have nips, but they're just, under the fur.
Well, that's what I'm saying, you know?
Yeah.
Just a shout out to the audience very quickly that probably isn't listening live, but I'll say it anyway. We are an R-rated podcast.
Yeah. We're not safe for school internet.
No, we talk about nips. We talk about, well, to a less degree, dicks. We say the F word.
Yeah, we do say the fuck word now and again.
I hope that's the screenshot by accident. Just for those of you who are listening to the podcast, we both just did the scream from that painting. The scream. Except I look more like a fish because I'm a weird-looking human.
We did it again because we're both idiots. But yeah, today we are talking about Mass Effect 3, and I think we both got it pretty much when it was new, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah, it was the first Mass Effect that I actually got on release day.
Same.
Yeah.
I bought Mass Effect 2 after Dragon Age.
Because
I went, oh, the Dragon Age, that looks interesting. This game's fun, cool. Went to CEX one day. Made by the Dragon Age guys.
Yeah. Yeah, the similar thing. I can't remember the timeline of it for when I got Dragon Age and Mass Effect, but I got Mass Effect 1 because I kept getting told Mass Effect 2 is good and you can carry your save over. So I got it when it was old news. I got Mass Effect 2 when it was basically old news. It was like 20 quid. And then Mass Effect 3, I was like, I'm chomping at the bit for more. I've been on the pulse for all the DLCs as they've come out for 2. And so yeah, that actually puts quite a window on it. I got it between release and the Liara DLC.
Okay, I definitely got it way after the fact because one, I'm on the PS3.
Yeah, so you got all the DLCs included.
So yeah, it was after all the DLC shit came out, and I went, "Oh, this is good." Yeah, I actually only got the Liara DLC. I had to pay for the fucking Batarian bullshit.
Oh, that was the worst one as well.
It sucked.
Actually, no, I'm not. It's kind of the worst one. It sucks, but also the
Oh, and Overlord. I got Overlord free as well.
Yeah, the Overlord one also kind of sucked. It was just depressing.
I liked it though.
It was cool,
yeah.
but it was kind of depressing. You got the hover car, which was nice.
It wasn't kind of depressing. It was totally depressing.
Oh, it's absolutely depressing. It's exploiting someone with a different set of abilities for their own game, just for trying to interface with something which, give it a game, they're going to be allies anyway.
If you want to get into it for real, it's literally just, hey, do you guys want to go onto a side quest where we deal with a Nazi?
Yeah.
Like, that's what Nazi scientists did. Nazi scientists did far worse, obviously, but this is probably the closest you can get within the realms of a video game without pushing it to an 18.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, in universe, the thing that makes it worse is that it is actually his own brother.
Yeah. And I can't believe there's an option to let him keep David.
Yeah.
And I can't believe some people took it.
If you do, when it gets to Mass Effect 3, the scientist shoots himself in the head out of shame.
Good.
Yeah, he deserved it.
It's one of the few times where even as a Paragon Shepherd, your Shepherd goes fucking nuts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, dude. I can't do it justice. If you've not seen it, watch the confrontation scene between Shepard and that scientist, because it's justice boner. Except it's not justice because you can't shoot him.
Well, no. But yeah, Mass Effect 3 starts with the fall of Earth. It's something that it kind of starts with your trial. Shepard's trial for the last DLC of Mass Effect 2, where an entire mass relay got destroyed.
Just one second. BioWare is a fucker for this. Where the game only happens because of something that happens in a fucking DLC.
Yeah. So it was the same between Mass 2 and Mass 3, and the same between Dragon Age 2 and Dragon Age 3. And it was the last DLC as well. The last DLC sets up the next game.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the same is going to go for Dragon Age 3 to Dragon Age 4.
It has to, because Dragon Age Inquisition's last DLC was an epilogue.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Mass Effect 3 last DLC is kind of their actual love letter to the fans and the one where they actually draw a line under things. And they've had the actual ending, and they can't go beyond that, so they go before that and just have a bit of fun with it.
It was my favourite part of Mass Effect 3.
Yeah, and I'm ashamed to say I've not played it.
Oh, you fucking missed out.
I know. I've seen some of the cutscenes. It's on an Xbox 360 that's in my room that's not been plugged in since like 2013.
Jeez.
And like, I think the first DLC is the one that put me off.
Leviathan was shit.
Yeah, Leviathan was shit.
Like, Omega wasn't even that good, to be honest, but at least it added something.
Yeah. So us shitting on the DLC, and then it's like a exponential curve. It's like Leviathan, Omega, Citadel.
Yeah.
And for people listening at home, I went low, medium, off the screen, high.
It wasn't even medium. It was like a slight little ding.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. We'll talk about the DLC near the end because I feel like that's the best place to talk about it. But the DLC for free was. I love it when a DLC is just here's a bunch of stuff you wanted to see. Boom.
Yeah. Stuff that we didn't get to see before. Here you get to see it now. I think the first DLC was made basically alongside the game and also rushed.
It wasn't. It sucked because it made no sense.
Yeah.
Because I think I bitched about this in the Mass Effect 2 fucking retro, where each Reaper is meant to be a race that got turned into a Reaper. So why the fuck do they all look like Leviathan?
Yeah, we even saw in 2, you've got the human Reaper that looks like a giant freaking Terminator. Like, it doesn't make sense that they all just look like the very first. Like, okay, I can understand them doing it for the first couple of races and go, oh, maybe we should start incorporating something that made that race the dominant race. So having a couple that look kind of like that, like Harbinger and
Sovereign.
Yeah, Harbinger and Sovereign is kind of okay because Harbinger's meant to be the very first one.
What Sovereign was?
Don't know. One or the other. By the time you fight one, the other is.
Yeah, that's true enough. The thing that gets me is they could have avoided this by just having the human Reaper be the same fucking shape. Like, this is what they do because they're lazy.
Either that or...
The whole thing with the Reapers is they're AI that became sentient from the Leviathan race's age, right? To begin with, anyway.
Yeah. They were given sentience. They were given the task of making the galaxy the best place possible.
And it still doesn't make a lot of sense of, okay, cool, we need to destroy all organic matter and make it synthetic.
Yeah, because apparently there were more plot threads that didn't get explored. Like, there was meant to be like a tech singularity that was approaching, and they were trying to avoid that by, being a tech singularity.
Yep. There's a lot of things that got dropped. I can't remember the exact name of it, but isn't there something about, like, zero blackness or something that was a plot point they were going to do?
Yeah, there's like dark energy or something.
Yeah, that sounds more correct than zero blackness, but it's also in the same veins.
Zero blackness.
Okay, that sounds bad, but you got what I meant when I said it, right?
Yeah. And there was also a massive scar on one of the planets that looks like it was made by a super weapon, but nobody knows where the super weapon is or how long ago it was made.
Yeah.
But you can only see that if you just go around probing Uranus all the time, all over the galaxy.
Oh, can we talk about, like, we've barely even touched Mass Effect 3 yet, but can we talk about what they did to the fucking probe mechanic? Making it the answer to all the fucking fetch quests.
Yeah.
That was just fucking lazy padding. I get it, you need to make the game longer, you need to add some random bullshit, but do something more interesting than that.
Yeah. At least they made some of the fetch quest ones that you actually had to go on, or was that in 2?
I think that was 2, mate.
Yeah, I think it was 2, yeah. Oh shit, that's even worse. I think some of the fetch quests you actually found something in the field and you could just pick it up and it'd add it to your diary. And then you could go and sneak up to someone and go, listen to them bitching about something and go.
Yeah. Use your words for the audio version.
Yeah, I was just slowly pulling up a piece of paper, imaginary piece of paper. You can just see my thumbnail on the screen, but slowly holding up a piece of paper that the people were talking about, and like suddenly you've got a quest complete.
Yeah,
So creepy.
it's not great. Man, I do, come to think of it, I do think of Mass Effect 2 a bit more fondly than I did Mass Effect 3.
Yeah, and yet I definitely spent more time playing 3 than 2
Yeah, hands down.
because like in child brain, you have to play the newest one, the newest.
Although I'm actually kind of cheating because I'm counting all my multiplayer hours.
Yeah, that's another thing to talk about. Mass Effect 3 added multiplayer, and it was a fantastic money spinner for BioWare. And EA saw it as a cash cow and made them add multiplayer to everything going on from there on out. So, Dragon Age Inquisition had multiplayer.
It was
Um,
so shit.
it was shit.
Oh,
Mass Effect Andromeda had multiplayer. It was a bit shit.
I was so looking forward to actually playing that. When
Yeah,
I was like, I'm going to finish the story. When I finish the story, I'm going to play multiplayer. I played one match of multiplayer and went, this feels so. Well, this feels like the rest of the game, which is clunky.
yeah, yeah. It's one of those like it was meant to be the most um, open and customizable Mass Effect experience ever, and yet because he didn't have any restrictions, he just felt like everything was the same.
I feel you. I feel you. I want to point out, I made quite a few friends because of Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. And if you
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
see me play a few rounds, there is some footage of me doing so on my other channel, the Rev Plays Games. Uh, I wasn't doing anything particularly groundbreaking. I think I played like as an infiltrator, so you could see how boring of a player I was. But you know,
Yeah, yep.
um, but yeah, I've still got bears on my friends list. I've not spoken to that dude in years,
Okay.
and I literally all we did was play Mass Effect 3
Was the
multiplayer.
guy's name just Bears?
There's some numbers in there.
Okay.
He's from Chicago, so I think he supported the whatever fucking American sport team is the Chicago Bears.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah, I think there's the Bears and the Bulls, and they just play two different games.
maybe yeah. But there was another dude
Never.
we played with called Eisen.
Okay.
Wonder who he was named after. Um, and yeah, he actually said something once that blew my fucking mind.
Hmm.
He never played Mass Effect 3.
Yeah, we had a fair few of those. My buddy also did this. He bought Mass Effect 3 just to play the multiplayer. And also back then, there was a multiplayer activation code in the box.
I didn't know that.
So if you got Mass Effect 3 new, it was fine. If you got it used,
Oh, yeah, this was when EA was being really shitty about buying used games.
yeah. And it continues to this day. But yeah, if you bought a used copy of Mass Effect 3, you had to buy essentially like a 20 quid DLC for multiplayer activation, but you couldn't do it the other way around. You couldn't just pay 20 quid for multiplayer only.
Which is, like, I'll give Rockstar some credit right here. Because with Red Dead Redemption 2, you can pay 10 quid and just have access to multiplayer.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's Rockstar, and their main moneymaker is selling a bunch of free DLC on their multiplayer games. Now, I'm using air
Yeah.
quotes there because it's not actually free. You need to have in game funds, and the quickest way to get in game funds, especially that amount, is to buy it with real money.
Yeah. It's basically one of the earliest forms of gacha that we were in contact with. Like the packs that you could buy for Mass Effect 3. I remember paying for some, but it was with. I got scammed on Xbox Live at one point. Like someone,
Yeah. Some prick with FIFA, right?
and that was on PlayStation.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. You
I,
got scammed again. Different way.
yeah, I got scammed multiple times. So people guessed. This was before two-factor authentication. People guessed my password, logged into my account, spent whatever, changed my password, and I'm like, okay, ring up Xbox, have them refund this. So they refunded the Microsoft points that they bought. They refunded the Microsoft points that they spent. So I had the money back from the Microsoft points that they bought, and I had the Microsoft points.
Okay.
So these were basically free Microsoft points. This is back in the day before money was money
Yeah.
on online platforms, and it was just an obfuscated different total. So like 10 quid is like 1600 or something. It was
It's fucking,
stupid.
yeah, very annoying time.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, okay, fine. I'll just spend it on Mass Effect guys, and then more guys got released, and I'm like, oh shit. So just got the vanilla ones.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the vanilla ones were still pretty good, but like, I remember the last wave of DLC they released. I say DLC because it was free. You know, it was free, but you had to unlock it. So it was free, but it wasn't. You need to gacha that shit. But
Yeah, and most of the good ones were 5 stars essentially.
yeah, but you could buy character packs specifically if you were trying to get characters, so it wasn't too bad.
Sure.
Also, if you had a team of people that you played with, like I had Bears and Eisen, and we had another guy whose name I can't remember, so I have to assume he didn't talk, and and it was quite easy to just grind money. Especially, there was a brief period of time where they had the Volus trick.
Okay.
You'd have, I think, 2 Voluses in your party just constantly spamming shields, so you could easily clear platinum levels. They very quickly patched that so that it wouldn't work.
So you needed 3 Voluses.
What they actually did was they changed the map so that there was a hallway so that the enemy could flank you without having to come at you at one direction.
Right, okay.
Which was fine. Like, it wasn't fun doing that. It's just the new shit dropped and we want access to the new shit, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And we don't want to pay EA £700.
Our grinding map was one where if we all hold up in this one spot, there's very small chance of things spawning behind us, but it still does. So we got one person essentially checking backwards for things, but we'd all be behind this one bit of cover. If things got close to you, we just do the up and B thing where you grab them by the neck, punch them through the head and get an instant kill. Yeah, and the only thing that could actually be threatening was like a Geth Juggernaut, which you could just focus fire it down. We always did it with Geth, because if you did it with anything else, everything else had a one-hit kill creature, like the Banshee or the little shitty invisible bastard. Yeah.
Little shitty invisible bastard.
Yeah, the little shitty invisible bastard.
And then oh my days, I was so happy when they released the Collectors as a new enemy faction. It was difficult, but it was fun because it was new.
Yeah. It's not the same 3 factions you've been fighting the whole time and you know everything about them.
There was a time period where I didn't have a microphone, so I didn't really talk to the lads. And what happened was we were fighting Collectors, and some people apparently didn't know this. If you shoot an abomination in the head, it doesn't explode on death.
Right.
But what happened was I was constantly doing this because I was an infiltrator, so I was aiming for the fucking head anyway. And Bears one time said, that's weird. It didn't explode. I was so fast on the typing. I'm not that fast anymore, especially on a fucking controller of all things. I just sent him a quick message via PSN, headshot. And he went, that's cool, that's cool, man. Don't brag about that shit while we're fighting. And I'm like, I didn't have enough time to pause and send a message saying, no, headshot the things to... blah, blah.
Yeah, headshot the mutated Batarians.
Well, they're humans, aren't they, abominations? They're just the collective versions.
Oh, yeah, I'm thinking of the cannibals. Yeah, the cannibals are the mutated Batarians. They show up in the very opening thing of Mass 3 when Earth falls.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll talk a little bit about the trial. No matter what you say, Earth is about to fall anyway, so the only people that make it out are basically you and Anderson chooses to stay behind anyway.
We also meet... Is his name No, not Jacob's the black dude. What's the name of the henchman? Yeah, James. He's hench as fuck.
Yeah. He's voiced by Iron Bull.
Fuck off.
Yeah, he is.
I didn't know that.
It was his first BioWare voice actor role, as far as I'm aware.
Sounds completely different.
Yeah, he's actually a really good voice actor because he can do 2 completely different characters like that, sound different, and both be hench.
Yeah, man. In different ways, though. Like, I'll give BioWare a bit of credit. James looks like a legitimate person who's hench because they've body built for the last 5 years of their life.
Yeah, not just a triangle for triangle's sake.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Vega's actually pretty good because if you've not played previous Mass Effects, so if you are a new person that's just come in for the multiplayer and gone, I wonder what the story's like, then Jimmy Vega is someone to take along because he asks all the questions that Shepard knows the answer to, but a new player doesn't.
Dude, one of my favourite things is the very first mission where you have to select someone to... Sorry, it's not the first mission, it's the second mission because it's after you got Liara. You have to send someone to hack the machine. And when if you pick James, he just goes, "You sure? Okay." And no shit, 2 seconds later, he's kicking the fucking keyboard. because he doesn't know how to fucking act shit. Why are you picking him? It's great.
Isn't that the one where you're recruiting Garrus as well?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. Oh yeah, one other thing, you get to meet your Vermeer survivor from Mass 1, who was a dick to you in 2, and they're back in 3.
Yeah,
I think
although...
it's about...
Go on, sir.
Isn't it about a third of the way through the game you meet them, but they also show up right at the beginning as well?
They show up right at the beginning, but after you recruit Liara, they go through that thing by the... It's not Edie yet, but it is Edie. And they fucking incapacitate them, basically. It's quite gruesome.
Yeah. Apparently that character has a name, but it's only in the comics.
I think they have a name when they're subtitled as well, so it says Bird saying blur, but it's like, who cares?
Yeah.
It's Edie's sexbot body.
Yeah. It is and all.
The thing that actually kind of shits on the lore a little bit is how in the multiplayer maps you can play as that.
Yeah, you can play as a mass production Edie.
Yeah, it's kind of like takes away from it.
It's kind of okay though, because if it's a mass production one, then it doesn't have to be as good as Edie.
Yeah, I suppose, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too picky about it.
Yeah, maybe so.
All right.
Sorry, buddy. But yeah, the thing that I didn't like about 3 more than anything else is that 2 was framed almost perfectly with endless dread. You know the Reapers are coming, but you also know it's not today, not tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you can fuck around with no repercussions.
It's one of the downfalls of the Citadel DLC later on. Because as fun as the Citadel DLC is, it is just that. It's just fun, and everyone frames it as such. And it's like, have we got time for this shit?
Yeah. You're having fun, you're having a party, you're having a jacuzzi, and the Reapers are still out there, like, killing everyone that they can get their grubby little tentacles on. Or grubby big tentacles on, even.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're joined by James Vega, as we said, newcomer kid. Garrus and Tali, because they're good kids. Liara, obviously.
We don't get Tali for quite a while though.
No, you don't get Tali for a while. Edie joins as playable Robo Waifu. And we get Javik the Prothean if you have the DLC.
Which I think you had to pre-order to get.
Yeah, maybe. It was either that or you could buy it as part of like a season pass afterwards.
Yeah, it was one of those where it's like, if you pre-order, you get this. If you don't pre-order, you got to wait.
Mm-hmm.
You want that DLC.
I think I pre-ordered it like a day before it came out.
I think I pre-ordered it quite a bit beforehand.
Yeah. And Cade Ash can join you.
Cade, Cade nor Ashley, gotcha.
Cade Ash, and that's not till like halfway through, because they need to go through their bit of character development. They have to do their own solo shit, and then realize that you're not actually a prick.
They need to become their own Spectre.
Yeah, although you do get to visit them in hospital in between. So you visit them in hospital, and they're either trying to assassinate Udina or trying to protect him, and you either help them or foil them, as far as I'm aware.
I don't remember them trying to assassinate Udina.
I think if Udina is very obviously evil, they're basically doing the same thing as you, but from the Alliance way rather than the Spectre way, or the other way around, sorry. They're doing it from the Spectre way because they're no longer Alliance, as far as I'm aware. And you're only Alliance right now.
Except you're a Spectre. You've never not been a Spectre, even though you technically, even when they take it away because of the technicality of death, you're still a Spectre. Yeah,
fair enough.
You know?
So yeah, you're both gunning for Udina at that point by the end of the conversation.
And on that line of thought, sorry, I do remember in Mass Effect 2, the Shadow Broker DLC, where you've got that Asari Spectre who takes a single hostage and goes, "Come closer and I'll blow her brains out." And you've got the option to just laugh. Like, I'm a Spectre, I don't give a shit, and you can shoot the woman yourself, not to death, but like wound in the ankle. And the best part is, she's all upset because she just got shot in the foot, and you just go, walk it off.
Yeah. If she had a shield, this wouldn't be an issue.
Oh, jeez. Don't get me started on Mass Effect shields. They're so dumb.
Man, Mass Effect technology, like, I can see how it works in a fictitious sense.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
it's
of course,
basically,
but it's just like in real life, it's like this is useless because everyone would immediately switch to slugs.
yeah. I mean, it still kind of technically works against those as well.
Yeah, not really.
Well, if you look at like shields and barriers, they take more damage from rapid fire stuff, and it's armor that takes more damage from slugs
Uh,
and fire.
yeah, but I think that's gameplay. I think that's the thing. Like in real life, this technology wouldn't work because the bullet would just change to, not matter. Because the whole reason it works is because it stops something coming at you at X speed or some it doesn't make any sense in the real world. It's part of the problem.
And then Samantha Trainer asks you to retrieve her Mass Effect field generating toothbrush.
Yeah, and you
Yeah,
say we can't actually go back for that. Put in a requisition form.
and she's like, "This was like a third of my salary last year, and I don't think it's going to go through on a requisition. Then you can go on a side quest to get one, I think, can't you?"
I don't remember that at all.
It's implied that it's not just a toothbrush for her, but yeah.
Why? It's an adult. Well, it's not an adult game, but like you can be overt about this. There's sex in this game.
Yeah, yeah, you can. In fact, I think hers is one of the more explicit ones. She just sneaks up behind you in the shower. It's great.
Well, she doesn't just sneak up behind you. It's after the chess game. If you're a woman, you can be like, "Cool, I'm going for a shower," but you can say it in that way that's like, "Please,"
I'm going for a shower. There's no door on the shower. Oh no.
something like that. I don't know. I never played as a female character, so when it's just like, I didn't know she was a lesbian. So when she was in my chambers for the first time, and I didn't continue a save file, so I didn't have anyone, I was just like, "Oh, so where's this going?" She's like, "Oh, I'm not into dudes," and I was like, "Oh, well, shit. I guess I've got the choice of Ashley or Liara."
Or Tally.
I guess I probably would have gone for Tally.
Yeah.
I know. I very quickly scrapped that save and tried to dig up my old save file so I could have Jack.
Yeah. Like, here's the thing. Like, yeah, you can continue a romance with your older, your Mass Effect 2 people who are not playable in this, like Jack and
Miranda.
Jack, Miranda, not quite Jacob.
Jacob's a cunt.
Yeah, Jacob's an arsehole in this one. Thane dies no matter what.
Yeah, but at least, you knew that signing up.
Yeah.
You know, like if you go on get into a relationship with Thane, he straight up says, "Okay, I am going to die."
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact. Probably relatively soon. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, yeah. The one that you can't continue at all is Kelly Chambers, but that's not a real romance anyway. All she does
that's
is
just a fling.
Yeah, it's a fling, and then she feeds you fish.
It's such a funny sentence, but it's true.
Like, the reason to go on the date with Kelly Chambers is you don't have to go back to your go back to the Normandy to feed you fish and just see them turn up dead. All.
Man, you can get Kelly killed as well if you're not careful in Mass 3.
Yeah, so if you like redheads, tough luck, because you need to make her go blonde to give her a new identity and not get her killed by Cerberus.
Okay, even if I like redheads, I wouldn't be stupid enough to be like, "Hey, Cerberus is hunting you. Don't change a thing. You'll be fine." Who cares about hair color that much?
Yeah, you have to tell her to get a new identity, so she does, and that lets her live.
She doesn't even do that much. She dyes her hair
and keeps doing the same thing in the same place.
Yeah, she changes her, she changes her ID card, I guess, but Cerberus should be smarter than that.
Yeah, she's a person with the same face living in the same house.
So dumb. That's like hentai game logic.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, in hentai games, everything does literally have the same face because the artist can only draw two faces.
Looking at you, Fate.
Yeah, male face and female face.
Fight me, Fate nerds.
Yeah, they're going to try and do the bone of your sword thing, and you're just going to walk away.
Oh, Jesus, I really don't like that speech. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, one of our friends does like Fate a lot, and I'm pretty sure they're never going to watch this, so who gives a fuck? And two of our friends used to really like Fate. One of them's fallen off the train a little bit. Hell, I kind of like Fate. the fight scenes are somewhat interesting, but to be honest with you, I only like Fate because of the Dojins. And and they both shared the link of Ian McKellen got asked to read the Bone of My Sword thing. It's like,
you could see him like shaking his head and going, "What the bloody hell is this bollocks?"
I mean, he doesn't shake his head, but like he doesn't know what it's from. He doesn't care. It's just nonsense.
Yeah.
Sorry, Fate nerds, your franchise sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But although I will recommend watching some of those joke videos of people trying to explain where to start with the Fate franchise.
Oh boy, no. I think the place to start with the Fate franchise is the place that you did start with the Fate franchise.
I mean, technically, like I had to start with the prequel, even though I always say this, right? If you're going to get into a franchise and you weren't there from the beginning, always start from release order, not from actual order. So if you've never watched Star Wars, the first thing you watch is A New Hope.
Yeah. You do it in release order because that's the way the fans that were there for the whole ride did it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's generally the way to go if you can.
Yeah, if you can, obviously. But it's like, you can't really do that with Fate because loads of people argue what the first thing was.
Oh boy, no.
Right, visual novel? No, you got to watch what's the fucking weird thing with the weeaboo books? What are they called?
The light novels.
Yeah, light novel. Wait, the fuck does that mean? Is it a novel or novella? Those are the two words. Fucking pick one. I know you're from Japan, but
it's basically a novella, but it's like
fucking call it that.
Like, yeah, well, they want to call it something else because they think that novella is related to telenovelas.
That's a fucking Spanish thing.
Yeah, I know, right?
What is wrong with Japan? This is Westerner gets mad at the East.
Old man yells at cloud.
Oh, I just call things what they're meant to be called. Like, it's not. All right, I'm not having a go at people who are Japanese. It's clearly a marketing thing when they translate it. What the fuck is it? Call it a novella. People know what a novella is. It's a fucking book that's less than 50k words, but probably over 20.
I think the phrase actually just literally translates as light novel, so that's why they call it that.
Yeah, but like, all right, a part of a translator's job isn't to just translate things. It's to translate it and then make it make sense.
Yeah, it's to localize.
If you directly translate a Japanese sentence, it's not going to make sense because all right, this is going to sound bad, but when you directly translate it, the words aren't in the right order.
Well, partly that, and also a lot of translation is just as much art as science.
Yeah, I kind of get you.
If you directly translate some Japanese things, like the word for seagull just directly translates to sea cat.
But and then you've got the other problem is Japan has, I want to say, at least 2 written languages. And one of those is if you put the line in a slightly different place, this thing that meant blackbird now means penis. I'm not wrong, am I?
Yeah, if it's kanji, then yeah. I mean, you can even have the same kanji written down and have the same word said the same way. But one kanji can be read like 15 different ways, and they can all mean different things depending on how you read it.
This is not a good way to have a written language. Jesus.
Yeah, we bitched about Japanese for a little bit.
Listen, I like Japan. I've fucking visited Japan, and I like the culture to a certain degree. But, you know, I'm going to call something dumb.
Yeah. Then again, some people like to call a spade a spade. I like to call it a holotron, the digging stick of tomorrow.
No word of a lie, that might come up in our D&D campaign.
The holotron, the digging stick of tomorrow. It's probably going to be something that Nibs invents.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, she is the rock-type Pokemon.
Okay. Okay. I love Nibs and I don't want to throw her under the bus. But we did have that puzzle last session.
Yeah. Like, my actual legitimate way of solving it, or trying to solve it, was have Nibs be the last one in the room, being a rock-type gnome. To show me only stone. Yeah, she's a rock-type. She's like a Geodude, but not.
But this is Nibs, and her first solution was, okay, let's throw a rock at it.
Yeah. And
when that didn't work, let's do it again.
Yeah, and when it didn't work the second time, let's throw a rock hard enough at it to break it.
It was better than that. She tried to make a rock really big, and then I'd said, okay, how are you going to throw that rock with my slingshot? Your slingshot is not going to throw a rock that big. Much as you
He
try.
goes flying and he goes flump. And for people listening on audio, I pulled my imaginary slingshot back and then just went flump in front of the imaginary slingshot.
It was
as
not.
Gravity took its course.
For those of you wondering as well, it wasn't a very imaginative puzzle. It was basically just an elaborate pun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fortunately, another member of our group had already seen said puzzle, so decided to step in before the puzzle got broken.
Yep. But yeah, once you've collected all of your old party members that you have left behind in between games, and spoken to some of the old ones that that are not joining up, like Jack is now a teacher, and she looks really cool with hair and a jacket. In fact, I actually got called out when I was talking to Jack because my male character did, in fact, have a fling with her, but it was just a fling.
Oh, you're right. Your main character was a slut.
Yeah, well, okay. So my male character was a slut.
Yeah.
My girl character was Garrus through and through.
Well, you had to be a male character if you wanted to fling with Jack.
Yeah. So my female character was my main character. My male character was a slut. He was a man whore. His goal was to bone as many different aliens as possible.
Got you, as Captain Kirk.
Yeah. So he had a fling with Liara in the first game, and then settled for Ash. In the second game, he boned Tally. Well, he boned Jack for a fling, and then boned Tally. And in the DLC, Liara goes, "Do you want me or Tally?" And I go, "Kind of both." And she goes, "You're gonna have to choose at some point, dude."
Which is fair.
Yeah.
That is a more calm response than I would have expected.
Yep. And in the third game, when we're both living on the same ship, I chose Tally and stayed with Tally. It was his redemption arc, was settling down with the cute little waif, while also living in the same house. You know, it's a flying house, but in the same house as someone who controls like 45% of the information in the galaxy.
Well, you know, it's also like you're on a ship. That's the Quarian equivalent of a house.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I think they even... I don't know if it's only if you're dating, but she changes her name to Vast Normandy.
Yeah. I don't think that is if you're dating. I think that's just a thing she does because she feels like the Normandy's her home.
Yeah, fair enough. It might be when she gets the title of Admiral.
Maybe.
And because she doesn't have her own command ship, she becomes Vast Normandy.
Maybe. My memory's fuzzy on that. I do remember becoming Vast Normandy, but I thought that just happened anyway.
Yeah. I like the gag of I think it was in webcomic, and the character's talking to Tally, and she's getting a little bit drunk already through her emergency induction port.
Yeah.
And the character just goes, "Come on, let's rename you Miss Vass in my place."
Wow.
Which is a bit forward, but
it's also a bit too much when the character you're speaking to is drunk.
Yeah. I think the actual last panel is putting her to bed, like, tenderly, and like putting a cover on and like turning the light out, all that.
Very sweet.
Yeah. A teddy bear or whatever. I think it's actually a plush Hanar.
It'd be funny if it was a Volus.
Plush Volus. With Winnie the Pooh colour scheme.
Oh no, it'd be piss yellow, wouldn't it?
Yellow with a red shirt.
I don't know what Volus look like under their suits, but I can't imagine they're pleasant-looking creatures.
I just imagine them just being Winnie the Pooh.
They're not very bear-shaped.
Well, they don't have to be bear-shaped to be tubby.
But they do need to be bear-shaped to look like Winnie the Pooh.
Well, Winnie the Pooh's a teddy bear. Teddy bears don't look much like bears.
But they're not fucking spheres, which is all Volus are.
I think that's part of the thing that they're perpetually like semi-exploding. They're not actually spherical under
Nah,
high under high
nah.
enough pressure. Okay.
Well, it doesn't matter, does it? They're always in places where they can't be out their suits, so they're always spheres.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Man, I love that thing on the Asari planet in 2 where there's
The biotic god.
adverts. No, no, there's adverts go when you're just walking around the town. And one of them is, "Are you tired of that pesky suit getting in the way of your social life? Try our new surgery with success rates approaching 40%."
Damn, that's very low.
Yeah, and it's to be able to live outside of your suit for Volus and Quarians.
Yeah, that seems sketchy.
Yep, 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 yep. And there's that one Valley girl, Quarian, in the bar who's got a human boyfriend, and she's like, "Oh, humans are all the same. Ooh, I wonder what's under the mask."
Oh, right, yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember there being a slight controversy, actually, when you get the picture of Tally's face, and it's just a very poorly photoshopped human woman.
Yeah, it's a normal stock photo. It's a very good-looking lady,
Oh, yeah,
but it is
absolutely.
just a stock photo, and it's just short of Photoshop from having 4 fingers to 2.
And it's also like, okay, so
And
Quarians just look like humans then? That's what? No.
like, I think it would look cooler if they looked like dark elves, but
Anything more than what they did. What they did was just like they're very pale humans, but of course they're very pale. They're in suits.
Mm,
But it's just like, I don't know. I was expecting a bit more xenobiology.
yeah. And by this point, if you are actually a male shepherd dating Tali, like male shepherd dating Tali already knows what Tali looks like
Yep.
because he gave her a cold.
Yeah, and Mordin was very helpful in pumping her full of antibiotics beforehand.
Yeah, and she's basically going, "This is the worst I've ever felt in my entire life, and it was totally worth it."
Yep, 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 yep.
She does it in such a like low, purring voice. It's great.
Yeah.
Totally worth it. I can't imitate it. If I could, then I'd be in a different line of work.
Yeah, evidently.
But yeah, things you get to do other than picking up old characters and um, like talking to old characters by doing a little mission, like in Jack's case, or in Miranda's case, you take on a. I think there's 2 things you do in Miranda. One of them is you go to a refugee camp, which turns out to be just Cerberus funneling people directly to the Reapers.
Yeah, that one's later on. That one's very late in the game.
Okay, and
Beforehand,
that's the one.
you get like brief. You like chat with her for a bit, but you don't actually do anything.
Sure,
I
sure, sure,
think
sure,
that
sure.
scene
Yeah,
is more there for if you romanced her in 2, so you could establish that yeah, you're still a thing.
yeah, yeah. Rather than just like defaulting to Liara. Because it does seem like Liara is the one that is there essentially from the beginning of the game, and if you're not dating anybody, you can just like default to Liara because it does seem like she's a bit of the creator's pet.
She is, 100%.
Yeah.
And again, I think I mentioned this in Dragon Age 2 or Dragon Age 1 of it boils over because basically a lot of the fan base. Now I'm judging this because I used to prowl back when things had their own fucking message boards instead of everyone just having a subreddit.
Mm-hmm.
I used to hang around the BioWare message boards, mostly on the multiplayer because I wanted to play games with people. But sometimes I'd branch out and look at the other threads, and there was a lot of threads not hating, but kind of bashing the voice actress for Liara because
Oh, that's not cool.
everyone, but they weren't bashing her, but you know her name was mentioned a lot. You know, of every character she voices is the pet of the company because it happened in Dragon Age Inquisition with Harding.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You know, and it's just like
I feel it.
again, they weren't directly bashing her, but they kind of. It's one of those weird things that it's not like bashing nowadays where voice actors get fucking death threats and shit, which is beyond fucked up. It was this character gets preferential treatment because they're being voiced by so and so, and they,
Yeah,
you know, they
I
get
can kind of see
mentioned a
it,
lot
yeah.
and getting mentioned in a negative light, but not because of them. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's not the actor's fault,
Yeah,
but it seems like every creator seems to do the same thing with that one actor. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what the vocal protests were about. And man, can I just go on a fucking tirade? When did we devolve as a society into blaming actors and voice actors for everything?
I mean, they're the only face that we can see. That's the problem.
I mean, yeah, but sure. I was gonna say, surely people would have enough fucking general common sense to know not to. Okay. Beside that, even if someone makes a creative decision you don't like, that doesn't warrant death threats.
No, no, absolutely not.
This is what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, okay, the voice for let's say fucking Genshin, because they've been getting a lot lately. The voice for Zhongli gets XYZ amount of death threats because this happened to Zhongli, and it's like, okay, first of all, the voice actor has nothing to fucking do with that. Second of all, even if you were aiming your death threats at the correct person, and I'm using fucking air quotes for those listening along, that's such an overreaction.
Yeah, you're aiming death threats at someone who's creating fiction for your benefit.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's like, you're allowed to be annoyed and you're allowed to voice frustrations. But first of all, get the right person. And second of all, fucking just voice your complaints. You don't need to be a dick about it.
The worst thing about Zhongli was that they were sending the threats to the English voice actor,
which is even more baffling.
Because he's only one of many voice actors for that character. And it was because the character was played like shit when he was released.
Oh, yeah, because the voice actors have so much to do with that shit.
Yeah, the voice actors have total control over whether or not the character is meta or shit.
Alright, listen, guys, I will voice this character, but you've got to make sure that he looks sexy but plays like ass. Those are my conditions.
And you have to be stuck in the story for so long with them.
Oh, jeez. I'm not a big fan of Genshin at the moment. I go on and off, but at the moment I'm like off.
Oh, and I looked, and apparently the last time I played it on my phone was like the 5th of December.
Oh, that was when your phone was bugging you about apps you haven't played for a while.
Yeah.
And one of them was like 2 hours ago.
Yeah, literally, one of them was 2 hours ago. But yeah, we talked about Cerberus a little bit. They're very definitely unambiguously evil this time.
I mean, they were quite evil last time as well. It's just you happened to be on their side. You kind of owed them one for bringing you back from the dead.
Yeah, you were both you and the space Nazis were pointed in the same direction, and there was a bit of teeth-clenched teamwork. Unless you were an actual evil bastard and actually agreed with most of the things that they did, and even then, by the end of the game, Miranda is like, "Yeah, I still don't know if that was the right thing to do to hand it over to them because I've had my character development now."
Yeah, and it does, and we mentioned it in the Mass Effect 2 episode. That fucking great moment of if you have Miranda in your party during that final fight. And at the end, the elusive man is like, "Give me the Reaper Shepherd," and you're like, "No." He goes, "Okay, fine, Miranda, you're in charge. Give me the thing." She's like, doesn't even say a word. I don't think she says a word. I think she just turns off the communicator.
Yep. Consider this my resignation.
Yeah.
But the two big things that really happen here is the cure for the genophage.
Yes, you want Mordin to be alive.
Yeah, you definitely want Mordin to be alive. Otherwise, you get... Okay, Paddock, who is Mordin's replacement character, is actually a pretty cool character, but he can't hold a candle to the real Mordin.
Oh, no one can, man. It's like fucking...
No.
Who the fuck wants Erdnot Reeve instead of Rex? I didn't.
Rex wants Reeve.
I mean, he really doesn't shed a tear when Weave gets fucking bollocked by a Freshamore.
Yeah, he gets completely... he gets the... What do they call it? The Worf effect, where someone who is shown to be strong gets completely jobbed by something.
Yeah, but it's a bit different, because, like, they're in trucks, and the Freshamore just happens to target that truck. There was nothing to be done. So it wasn't even the Worf effect, because he didn't put up a fighting effort. There was nothing you could do there.
Yeah, Reeve was an asshole. Well, if you you can actually sabotage the genophage cure willingly.
Yes.
So if Rex is dead, but you do have Mordin, you can convince him that the Krogan are not in the right place culturally to recover from this. So he'll sabotage the cure, and Reeve will keep on attempting to breed.
Yes, and you can actually do this with Rex as well. However, Rex is a lot more smart, fuck, that's not good
Yes,
English.
he is.
He is smarter than Reeve by quite a margin. And
Yeah, and he tries to kill you on the Citadel, doesn't he?
yeah, and his exact words are, "Do you really think Mordin was my only source in the STG?"
Oh boy, yeah.
And he also has that great line of, "Unlike you, I'm going to stab you in the front."
Yeah, that is a very good line, actually.
And I don't think anyone should, like, it's one of those where I don't have any faith in the Krogans under anyone other than Rex. But with Rex at the head, yeah, I think there's some hope there.
Yeah, even Grunt is too immature at this point because he's like 4 at this stage.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he's finally got his own little squad that he's with, and I think he ends up de facto in command of them after the commander dies while you're there. And you get to do his little side quest.
I thought he was in command anyway.
He might have been in command anyway, because yeah, he's the first one since Rex to have beaten the Threshermore with his battle squad for his puberty thing. It's like Krogan Bar Mitzvah.
Don't forget that earns us 3 breeding requests for Shepherd.
Yeah.
Wait, no, sorry. It's 3 for Grunt and 1 for Shepherd, and Grunt just goes, Isn't Grunt voiced by
Steve Bloom? Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say Ogren, but that's Steve Bloom as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. and the porpoise in Q-Force.
Inside Job.
Yeah, an inside job. Sorry, wrong week. Sorry, my bad.
So, porpoise in Q-Force. What the fuck?
Yeah, we watched 2 Netflix cartoons about government agencies in 2 weeks, and I've watched most of both of them already by now. So
I thought the porpoise was DiMaggio.
Oh yeah, he is Don DiMaggio, isn't he?
Well, I thought so.
Ignore me, I'm stupid.
But yeah, I just want to say at the end of Grunt's loyalty mission, because they really play it as if Grunt dies there, and I think he does die if he's not loyal. But everyone was loyal to me because, and my exact words when he comes out of the, I forgot what they're called, the fucking Hive Queen bullshit.
Yeah.
When he comes out all bloodied and limping, my exact words were, "My baby, come back!" Ah.
Sit down, a piece of cake.
What was that, sorry?
You'll be right as rain. Come here, sit down, have a piece of cake. You'll be right as rain in 20 minutes.
I'm more like a keg of Rheinkohl, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the game is split into like 4 parts, more or less, because you got the Tachanka and the Genophage stuff. That stuff's great. You then immediately move on to the Quarian and the Gef conflict, which has been a thing since game 1.
Yeah. It was kind of in the background in the first game, but in the second game they really ramp it up. Because we actually have a Gef party member in the second game who, if he survived, he comes back as the Gef delegate during that part of the game. And it's a really nice way of showing that characters that you save, even without them being your party members, can still have an effect on the third game. Because if he dies, it's the same body, but it's just got the hole patched up by a bit of hologram, and it's just a Gef AI.
Yeah, which is not as good.
No, it's not. It's not.
But yeah, I just want to point out, as soon as this part of the game is over, the game immediately takes a downward spiral in terms of quality, in my opinion. At least as far as story content goes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, in terms of story writing, at least, yeah, because like all of the fun stuff is now done, and now you have to go and do all of the shitty bits that you don't really want to do.
Well, it's not even that. Like, after I believe it's after the Quarians anyway, you go back to the Citadel to deal with Udina's betrayal bullshit.
Yep.
And you get introduced to the worst character of all time, the most poorly written Gary Stu-esque character who's a villain ever, in Kai fucking Leng.
Yeah.
He sucks.
Yeah. In the books, he broke into Anderson's flat, and to show how much of a villain he was, he eats his cereal.
Oh, fucking, it's piss poor writing, and it does the worst thing it's a grave fucking sin as far as video games are concerned. You fight this guy so many times, and the only reason you're not allowed to win is because the game says, no, you can't win here, otherwise the plot goes nowhere.
Yeah, there's I think the first time you actually fight him in a gunfight is on the
Thessia.
Asari planet, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thessia, yeah.
And it's like, no, I won this fight. Why has all my party just got KO'd in a cutscene? That's not how this is meant to work, you fucking div fuck pricks. I think div might be a slur, but I don't care.
No, it means divot. It's basically what happens when you swing your golf club too hard and make a piece of grass come out of the turf.
Except when I say div, I mean div-ed.
That's just dickhead.
Div. D-I-V.
Yeah, but it's a minced version of dickhead.
Okay, well, either way,
it's a way to say dickhead at school without getting bollocked.
We used to have a word in my house. I don't know if anyone else used to say it, but it's like dinlo. Which meant fucking idiot.
Okay. Yeah, we had one elderly teacher says, div? Is that an abbreviation for something? And one kid put his hand up and goes, yes, sir, it's for divvy.
But it is, though, isn't it?
Technically, yes.
Oh,
it's like that fucking pirates thing of, well, yes, but technically no. But yeah, it's for divot. It's a piece of grass that you knock out of the golf course.
Well, when I say div, I mean divvy bollocks. It's lazy and it sucks and they need a villain for the third act, but they couldn't do better than that.
No, well, that's the thing. They couldn't make it the Elusive Man because they even put in the art book, we have this concept art for the Elusive Man as a final boss, and we realized that's not what he does.
No, not at all.
So they make the final boss into a conversation with the Elusive Man.
That's fine. That works. I don't have any issues with that. I have issues what happened immediately after that, but you know,
it works for the concept. What they could have done is recover Kai Leng's body and turn it into that creature, and have the Elusive Man taunting you throughout.
No.
Just so you can have a final fight that's actually a fight.
Nah. I think having that final sprint while being bombarded by gunship and Reaper forces, and then just having a conversation, that works. It's what happens after the conversation that everyone has a problem with, and rightly so.
Yeah.
But I know we're jumping ahead a bit here. It's just Kai Leng. They need a villain to actively fight you. I get it, but you can do better than a fucking arsepool. You're BioWare. You're meant to be better than this.
Yeah. And throughout the game, you also have these little cheese dreams with that little kid.
Oh, forgot about those. Yeah, they're so pointless.
Yeah, and you have to walk through all of them. They're shit.
And this is one of the reasons why the fucking Shepard got indoctrinated theory is so prevalent. Because the theory goes that each of these cutscenes is Shepard getting more and more indoctrinated. And it's like, cool, that sucks.
Yeah, it just does. It means that if you do the control ending, then you just lose.
Well, the implication is it doesn't matter what ending you do. Because it's all in your head, so it don't matter. Oh, aren't we so meta? Oh, smell our farts.
Yeah, like, if you do control or alt, you lose. And it's only if you do delete that you break the cycle.
And like, I see why people put so much stock in that theory as well. Because if you do destroy, you get a little cutscene at the end of a zoom in on a little N7 chess piece that's movingless within the rubble, and then just a quick breath.
Yeah.
Didn't you tell me that they were making a fucking new game based on Shepard?
Yeah, so apparently the next game is going to be Shepard, and that's the one that's like in production right now.
Mm.
And it's obviously not going to be out until Dragon Age 4 is, I think.
Probably not.
I think. Because I think they've been working on Dragon Age 4 for longer, and Mass Effect 5 is, or technically Mass Effect 4 if they sweep Andromeda under the rug as, the interns made this.
I mean, the first thing everyone yelled when Andromeda was bad was, "Oh, it's the B team."
I mean, it was, but also you shouldn't be putting your number one franchise in the hands of your B team.
Oh, jeez, it rubs me the wrong way. It's like, yeah, okay. B team and A team and C team exist, especially when a company is big enough. However, if you give a project to the B team, your B team should still be pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
There's a
And
reason why these companies have so much fucking people on staff.
Yeah. It was a completely different studio as well as far as I'm concerned. Like, not as far as I'm concerned, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
Like, it was I think it was the Texas studio that did Andromeda, as opposed to Edmonton, which is the Canadian studio that did most of the BioWare stuff before then.
Yeah. Well, like, you also got to bear in mind, one of the I forget the dude's name, but his method of making games is shit. Oh, I can't believe this, to be honest, but this is what I heard. The way he makes games is everyone's working on something, they go at a very slow pace, and then all of a sudden, oh shit, this game needs to be out in 6 months. Okay, let's fucking turn it into Turbo Gear.
Yeah, the BioWare crunch.
Yeah.
So there are two things. There's the BioWare crunch and the BioWare magic, and one of them doesn't exist. Like, to the fans it does, but within the studio it really don't.
Yeah. And the problem is this guy gets all of this praise for getting these games out when they come out, but all the flack when they're shit. He doesn't get a drop.
Was that Casey Hudson?
I don't remember the name. I really don't.
Okay. Sorry, burping.
Yeah, no worries, man. It happens. We're both drinking fizzy because we're healthy.
We're drinking. Well, mine is highlighter fluid, but not really. And
mine's mine's Free Ray Orangeade. Who likes orange soda?
Kel loves orange soda.
Also, Dev.
Is it true? I do. Okay.
That's a 90s reference that probably anyone who watches. Well, some people might get it.
Yeah, it was a Nickelodeon show that was on Channel 3 when I was a kid because, I didn't have Nickelodeon when I was a kid.
Britain's a weird country.
Yep. But yeah, we do get to do the Quarian thing. If you're not a monster, you will have both of them alive, and you will probably come to some kind of entente between them.
Well, this fucking scene is bollocks if you choose one side or the other.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah. Because either way, you're deleting a race from the universe.
Yeah, it's dumb.
And if you do the Quarian and Gef peace thing, then that kind of pushes you towards the synthesis ending, because you've already done this on a small scale with two races. Why not kind of do the same thing with everybody?
I've got to be honest with you, the Symphysis ending is the worst ending, in my opinion.
What, because it's the most milquetoast?
Well, it's just like, it don't make no sense.
Well, okay.
All organic and synthetic material is now going to fuse into one mega being. Oh, so we're going to become Reapers. But on a smaller scale.
Yeah, little tiny individual humanoid Reapers and insectoid Reapers and whateveroid Reapers. But, instead of being... Like a Geth is like 100 or 1,000 programs in one platform. You might only need like 6 of the Reaperoid ones.
Ah, man,
to run a platform.
It's dumb. It's dumb.
Yeah, but I don't think it's actually a worse ending than the Control ending, which...
here's the thing. I put those both on equal footing. I don't like...
Sure.
I would like to talk to someone who thinks Synthetic or Control are the best option to take there, but actually does and isn't just a troll, and just hear what their reasoning is, because the arguments I've always seen for it never make much sense, because Control is actually, no, you're just evil. You're evil overlord AI Shepherd now. And
yeah, the Shepherd Reaper.
And Symphysis is basically, this is what the Reapers wanted all along, really, but they never did it. They just destroyed organics, because fuck it, that's easier, I guess.
Yeah, I think Synthesis is more... You turn each individual person into the ultimate individual, rather than collecting every individuals into one singularity.
Okay, but if that was the Reaper's goal, why didn't they just do that?
But that wasn't the Reaper's goal. The Reaper's goal was to collect it into a singularity, and they just keep doing it to individual Reapers.
Yeah, but
and
what
they
I'm
got a
saying
singularity.
is when you encounter the child is like, oh, you confuse everything, which is kind of what he uses fancy language, but it's basically like, which is kind of what we're doing anyway. So, and then they added a fourth option when they did the DLC to fix the endings
Yeah.
of refusing any of the endings, which is basically like, this is such spitting in the face of fans here, because in my opinion they should have just not bothered including it. But hey, you can
Yeah.
refuse, which means everyone who's fighting on the ground, they all die, they're all dead, and it's all your fault. But the next cycle know better, and they fix it. So don't worry.
Yeah. The Cheese Dream Child, who has now become the Crucible, just turns on his Reaper voice and goes, "So be it."
The best part
And
is because
then
we're in a visual platform, people see you putting your hands over your mouth to do that.
it's the only way to get all the breathy voice into the microphone. So I suppose I could do it in a cup. So be it. Sounds basically the same.
It does, but I think that was a slap in the face of all the fans who didn't like. It was like, we don't like these three endings, which fair enough. I can see that. And the writers were like, well, fuck you. Here's your fourth ending. Your fourth ending is fuck you. Everything you did was for nothing.
Yeah, although it is implied that it's Liara that's leading the charge in the next cycle.
I suppose she could, in theory, live long enough.
Yeah,
but
I think that's the idea.
But I thought the implication was everyone gets wiped out because the Reapers win for another cycle.
I think they just have a war that just keeps going on. Like, they might destroy everything or as much as they can, because the Reapers have two things that they can do. They can destroy as much as they can and just leave because there's nothing left to reap, or they can reap the one race that they can, which is what they normally do. The fact that there's so many races now means that they have to have a war.
I think the implication is they wipe everyone out. I don't think there's any survivors from the civilized races anyway.
Fair enough. But yeah. Yeah, the latter, is it mostly the latter half of the game, isn't it? Dedicated towards like assembling the Crucible, isn't it? Or did it start really early on?
You don't really do it's weird, isn't it? Because you get the plans really early on, because the plans are from Mars, where you get the Aura.
Okay, yeah, the plans are from Mars, and then it just becomes a thing of just dedicate all of your war resources to the Crucible, and if your resources are too low, then you lose.
I also want to point out, I can't take the name Crucible seriously because all I think of is snooker. Yeah, I know, that's dumb.
Yeah, you get little bonuses. Like, there's a little bonus from multiplayer. Like, if you've done enough multiplayer, you get a bonus from it, and it decays over time. So if you want to play some single player, you got to do some multiplayer to boost it up.
Well, you can also just not bother with that, because they give you enough in-game resources that the multiplayer is just, as you say, a bonus.
Yeah, like, everything is a bonus, but it all racks up. Like, if you didn't do anything with Conrad Werner in 1 and 2, then you can't get his bonus in 3.
And if you didn't play 1 at all, it's impossible to get him.
Yeah. Well, if you, I'm just trying to think. There's a bug in 2.
You'd have to somehow manipulate a save file from 1 to have him in the game, because the options in the comic don't let you get him.
Okay. I know there's a bug in 2.
Rick is yawning, and because of the way we edit this podcast now, you're going to hear that in the audio version.
Yeah, there's a bug in 2 where he always thinks that you threatened him in 1.
Yep.
And when you get to 3, if you didn't, and the game now knows that you didn't, he'll say, "Oh yeah, sorry for saying that you did that. I was under a lot of stress." There is actually a way to fix the save file with the save editor in 3, which I had for the Xbox, which I thought was fucking magic. Let's be honest. You could give yourself RGB hair, which you couldn't do in the regular game, and you can give yourself elusive man eyes, which you couldn't do in the regular game. It was great. But yeah, you could make it so that Werner wasn't actually threatened in 1 at all, and that you had a Paragon interaction with him in 2,
I have
but it doesn't
seen.
actually change in 3. So,
I
oh
have
well.
seen because I had to look it up on YouTube because I didn't know who the fuck Conrad Werner even was because
Mm, mm.
PS3 woo and and they showed it, and when you get introduced to him, you get slugged in the face by an Asari.
Yeah,
And Shepard's literal response is, I think this is the renegade response. I'm not sure. He just goes, "Okay, I'll give you that one. Now tell me why."
yeah, yeah. That's a pretty good bad guy response.
Yeah,
A badass response, even.
yeah, so, yeah, okay, that's the one you get for free. And then she goes,
You,
"Yeah, well, you're the reason why this fucking dickhead's recruiting for Cerberus, and I don't like him." Like, what
yeah.
dickhead? Where? Ah, this prick.
Yeah, I think in the first game he implies that he has a wife, or he even states, if you talk him down, he goes, "Oh, I better go home to my wife." And in the second game, he pokes fun at RPG characters by saying, "Oh, I've been going around people's houses, bursting down their doors and asking them if they have any problems, looking in all of their drawers for chump change."
Yep.
And the way that RPG characters behave in most RPGs.
Yeah, even Link, man.
Yeah, yeah, especially Link. He just breaks their pots.
Mm. Well, they got
Don't
that.
work.
They got that great comic on the punchline is machismo of
Mm, mm.
when Ganondorf is just having a polite conversation with Link, like, well, that's not. Link says something about him being a Gerudo pig scum, and he crosses his arms over his chest and just goes, "Well, that's not very fair. This, blah 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 blah. Did you just break my pots?" And Link's just like, "I thought there'd be rupees in them." To
Is that the one
Ganondorf.
when? Is that the one where someone reaches into one, pulls one out, and Link is like, "Sorcery."
Nah.
That's a different one.
That'd be a different one, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's actually Zelda that does that. She just reaches into the pot, pulls out the rupee, and Link is.
Yeah.
He does the scream.
Well, we're popular with the robots today, Rick.
Yeah, we are. Hello, robots.
Got 2 whole spam messages.
Hello, robots. Very
One's
cool.
even a real name. Well, the other might be a real name as well, but it's in like Russian or Polish, so I can't read that. Sorry, got sidetracked. Easily
Yeah,
done.
we're being populated by the Gef.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can get little bonuses. I think if you do all the things right with Konrad Werner, he turns out to be like a semi-famous astrophysicist, and he actually joins your team, and he gives you a pretty damn good bonus.
Yeah. He also takes the piss out of thermal heat sinks.
Okay.
But it's just like because in the first game you didn't have that. You just had your gun would overheat if you use it for too long. In the second game, they gave you heat sinks, which is just ammo clips. You talk to Conrad Werner and you explain what a heatsink does, and yeah, it's basically an ammo clip. And he goes, "Oh, cool. Can you still fire the weapon normally and let it heat up?" It's like, "Well, no, they had to take that out." It's like, "Oh, that's stupid."
Yep. It is though. Like, I actually really liked what they did in the first game. Okay, I realized that it wasn't perfect, but I liked that it was different and they were trying something new.
I appreciated it, but I had to go back to 1, so it
Right.
felt so weird.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You could have a kill gun basically. You had something. You had a stack of mods and ammo and stuff that made it so it automatically overheated after every shot, but it would probably kill everything in the way.
Well, okay, it didn't really affect automatic weapons too much because you could get 30 shots off and it would still be relatively good. But
Yeah.
I should have my hands in frame because otherwise it looks like I'm doing something weird. And but I tried to do an infiltrator my first run,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
sniper rifles are you can get 1 shot off before it overheats.
Yeah, even without mods. So you might as well mod it to hell.
Early game, you can't do that. You ain't got no money.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fair enough, fair enough.
I never got far in Mass Effect 1. I didn't like the gameplay, but that's because I went backwards from 2. Yeah.
Like, the only characters I didn't use in Mass Effect 1 were Ashley and Caden, because the other 4 were Garrus, Tali, Rex, and Liara.
If you can take Rex, why wouldn't you?
Because it's the only time that you can, apart from individual little missions later. Like there's the genophage cure where you've got a little bit of Rex. And there's the the Citadel DLC where you got a lot of Rex.
The best part is if you take Rex to that mission, he's you're taken into a fucking upper class party in suits.
Yeah. Yeah, if you take him around in Mass 1, he gets a little bit of bants with Garrus, which is cute.
Yeah, because they like to knock heads, don't they, about Taurians and Krogans being who's the better military.
Yeah. And
Krogan's like, yeah, well, humans never beat us in a war.
But yeah, there's like we talked a little bit about the endings. Control Alt and Delete, and then no. The Symphysis Ending is the one that turns everything into biomechanical utopia where everything is sunshine and rainbows. Everyone has integrated 5G in their cells. And yeah, I picked this one even though it makes your shepherd die to become the template for it, because your shepherd's already basically a cyborg. Well, they are a cyborg.
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah, because they're cloned from like a scrap of flesh.
Yeah.
And we know that because we meet another one.
Oh, here's the thing. I think the clone is actually a clone, but your shepherd is mostly the same body, which is why you've got your memories.
Okay.
And the clone is basically there for donor organs if you need them. But you didn't need them because they decided to put robot bits in, like Fennec Shand. I
feel like there wasn't that much of a body to reclaim.
Well, even if there wasn't, well, no matter how much or how little of a body there is or isn't, they were still in deep space.
Okay, man, I'm not going to argue this point because it's a silly argument to have.
Yeah. But yeah, after you choose your ending, I think you chose Destroy, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Destroy it makes the most sense. It's what you've been fighting for well, 2 games at least.
Yeah, although it does strand everyone who can't eat human food in the solar system.
There's gonna be a fucking way around it, man.
Yeah. But yeah, until then, rip Garrus Tally and the entire Quarian fleet and the entire Turian fleet.
Oh, they'll be fine. It's fine. It's a video game.
And rip all the Geth as well, because they're also AIs.
Yeah, that's all right. The Gef and Edie were the 2 things that made me think for a minute, but I also went, Reaper's got to go.
Yeah. Edie in particular would be down for it and would say, why are you even thinking about me? I'm one person. The Geth might be a little bit more hesitant because they've only just achieved peace. Only to become a casualty of war.
It's one of those. Like, I feel like the only reason Edie got a body in 3 was to help make that seed a thing, like to make her more human-like, so it'd be a bit of a harder decision to make. But it wasn't, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, now we've talked a bit about the endings. Well, let's get more into the DLC. Leviathan was shit.
Before we move on,
sure.
They did do a patch to fix the endings, as we said.
Yep.
I did like the epilogue slides, because I think epilogue slides are the best way to end a BioWare game.
Yeah.
But most of them were silly.
Fair enough. I don't think I actually replayed the ending after, because I just marathoned the game in the first 2, 3, 4 weeks that it was out, and the patch wasn't for a couple of months.
Yeah, well, I did a lot of multiplayer, man. So
yeah,
and also DLCs had came out since then, so I played the game from scratch to do the DLC. But like one of the slides was just Saeed on a beach on a fucking lounge chair with a fucking martini.
That was that guy's last role. He passed away soon after the voice actor did.
Yeah, I know. It was because of but the funny epilogue slide. It's just wasn't really, didn't add anything. Yeah. No, I knew he. I knew he passed away because again, I played a lot of multiplayer. When he passed away, they did a Zaid-themed week where all Inferno grenades did double damage, and if you did
Yeah.
X amount of things in a week, you got a title card, which was just I think the title that came with it was Big Goddamn Hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was. So yeah, I've not actually seen the ending cards for each individual character yet.
You don't get one for each individual character. You just get generic ones. Like they're not great. The Rachni Queen, if it survived, they tell you what happened to that. If it didn't survive, blah blah, this and that. If Mordin's alive because you were a dickhead, because you have to be a dickhead, he's the one on the beach and he's doing experiments on seashells. It's a bit crap. I appreciate it more than having nothing. Of course I do. But they went a bit too whimsy, funny, haha with it, as opposed to like, no, I want to know what happened to the fucking universe, motherfucker, that I just tried to save.
But yeah, shall we move on to the DLC for a bit?
Sorry, yeah, let's go to the DLC. I didn't mean to interrupt. What was shit?
Leviathan was a bit shit. It completely ruined my expectations of future DLCs and killed my my drive to play the DLCs that I'd already paid for. So that cheated me out of the slightly better and colossally better DLCs in the future.
Leviathan set the bar so fucking low. Alright, I'll give it credit where credit's due. The gameplay was fine.
Yeah.
But the story around it was ass.
Yeah. You get basically psychically indoctrinated, which is where the Reapers got it from, by a giant floating space cuttlefish Cthulhu dude.
That hid under the ocean on this one planet because...
Because they can. Why not?
Lazy.
Yeah, that just is what it is. Omega has you retaking Omega, the CD space station from Mass Effect 2.
This was a lot more fun.
Yeah, you get to play... Do you play alongside Arya and her lieutenant, do you?
You got Arya and the very first sexy... not Quarian, Turian.
Yeah. The very first female Turian that you actually get to see a model for. They obviously exist before now, but this is the first time you get to see one.
Yeah, and she and Arya were clearly more than just business partners.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get to one as a playable character in Andromeda.
Yeah, who I romanced the shit out of, and boy, do I regret that. The romance was such a nothing.
And yet it's probably one of the most fulfilling ones.
You see Tiddy in the other ones.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know, it was fine. We're not going to do an episode on Andromeda, because I have not got the time to be that salty.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the last one was the Citadel. And as we've said, it was a love letter to the fans. And as far as I can infer from it, it was BioWare's true swan song and really closed the book on the galaxy. But unfortunately, like we said, it was happening while the galaxy was still burning. Like, there's that thing in the back of your mind that is what's happening right now.
There's a high society like this. Okay, it's actually a bit too close to real life at the moment. What with COVID and Boris in number 10, the high society of the Citadel were having a party while the universe was melting.
Yeah. Oh man.
You get invited to it and you go to it. Granted, you've got good reasons to go because you're actually undercover. But you know.
Yep. And then your clone gate crashes the party, don't they?
Yeah.
Because they want to be the real Shepard Commander.
Now, I'll be honest with you, the gameplay in this DLC was kind of, whatever, inconsequential. But you got to have Rex again for a bit. That's a highlight. All of the all of the fun, fluffy stuff. It was basically like someone read a bunch of fan fiction and went, yeah, okay, fuck it, let's throw this in the game.
Yeah, and then got the voice actors to read the lines for it.
Yeah, like you had Solus have a voice record, not Solus. Mordin.
Yeah, Mordin Solus, yeah.
You had Mordin leave a recording of some of his other
opera stuff.
Yeah, but what's the name?
Musicals.
Gilbert and Sullivan.
Yeah.
More of that, which wasn't as good as Modern Scientist Solarium, but it was still pretty fucking top.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure it was a different voice actor in this one as well.
Maybe so.
The one from Mass Effect 2 was actually an operatic singer, so that's why the scientist Valerian was good.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
You have a funeral for Fane.
Yeah.
And if you romanced Fane, you get a very heartfelt
Goodbye
recording
message.
from which I think is sweet.
I think the Morden one's a bit of a goodbye message as well, because he knows that he's probably not going to live too much longer anyway, so he basically leaves you a goodbye message on there, doesn't he?
Yeah, there's a slight goodbye message before he goes, oh, here's some more of my Gilbert and Sullivan.
So anyway, it's Wonderwall.
Oh, yeah. There's a great scene where you get drunk with Grunt and Rex, and you sit down, and you go, Rex? And he goes, Shepard. And then it goes to Grunt. Shepard, Grunt, Shepard, Rex, Grunt. It was so fucking stupid. And if you want to, you can sit there for like 10 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, you're all just sat in the hot tub as well?
No, you're in the lounge drinking beers. I think they're probably drinking Rheingold, but hey.
Oh, okay. I like the one time you actually do try it and you end up on the fucking floor.
Yeah. And you end up in the floor in a bathroom, and a Krogan just looks at you and shakes his head. But like, I can't speak for the other romance options, but the moment with Jack is quite sweet in that DLC.
Okay.
She's got a tattoo gun.
Ah.
And she's tattooing an N7 logo on the back, it's base of your neck, but upper of your back, really.
Yeah.
And the entire time you're just having a bit of a chat, and she has a bit of a mini breakdown, and as she's giving you the tattoo, because the reason why she's giving it to you is because and I quote, the only reason we were able to find insert student name is because of that dumb fucking tattoo on her arm. So I want this tattoo on your neck, so if we have to fucking dig you out of rubble, we can find you.
Yeah, fair enough.
Probably isn't really how that works, but like she's almost. If I can't remember the scene exactly, but it feels like she's tearing up when she's saying such things, you know.
Yeah, it's like a magic feather, really, but it's a heartfelt magic feather.
Yeah. It's also like I've
since
never
I've not done it.
Go on, sorry.
Since I've not done it, I can't tell you what Garrus or Tally's are like.
Fair enough.
But I could look it up on the YouTube.
I might actually, because like there's got to be some cute shit. Like even Miranda fucking shows up for it, and she's off doing a secret mission. So yeah, there's some real baffling decisions for this DLC, but it's just a bit of fun.
Yeah. Speaking of Garrus and Tally, if you don't romance either of them, they hook up with each other. But I've never seen this in person, because I always hook up with one or the other.
Well, I've seen it in person a couple of times, because I've done a Jack route and I did a Miranda route. The Miranda route wasn't...
Yep.
But the Miranda route was before the DLC came out, so I don't know what...
Sure.
You know.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
If one of them is dead and the other is alive, they still have the hookup scene, but it's more of a melancholy, I wish they were here kind of thing. I had a really... I had my really shitty file where everything has gone wrong.
I don't know why you do these, because you did one for Inquisition as well.
I did one for Inquisition, and it depressed me so much I stopped playing it.
Good.
For Mass 3, that was my Control playthrough.
Oh, right, yeah.
This is like the shittiest Shepard ever would pick Control. So
now I am a god.
Yeah. A god am I couldn't keep my own squad together. And yeah, she was going... Garrus would always be so angry. He was always so angry. I wonder what you'd say. I wish he were here.
Sorry, just calibrating. That's what he'd say.
Yeah. Most likely. Because she was stood next to his cannon.
Giggity.
Okay.
I knew what you meant, but come on. I
walked, walking right into that is also walking right into that. But yeah. Man, are there any other romances that just happen without you?
I don't think there are in 3. It's kind of hinted that James might be doing something with... he's got a Spanish name.
Steve Cortez.
Yeah, Cortez. But it's hard to tell if that's actually a thing or if it's just Cortez teasing James.
I think it's James. I think it's a two-way teasing thing where Cortez is out and proud,
Yeah.
and Vega is just going, well, I need to do my pull-ups somewhere, dude. You might as well watch.
There is a great line where Cortez calls James nothing but a big old cuddly teddy bear, and I think the subtle joke is, like, in the gay community, a bear is a large hairy man, which I'm pretty sure James is.
Yeah.
And I think the exact response from James is just, huh?
Oh, if you romance Cortez as a male,
Didn't know that was an option.
yeah, as an option, you can romance Cortez as a male, and at one point, during the regular ending, or just going up to the regular ending, your shuttle crashes.
Yes.
It's got Steve going in it, and your shepherd goes, Steve, and you get a little radio message going, I'm okay, and he goes, okay, and then that's it.
I feel like that's the message no matter what, because I remember getting that as a non-romance with Steve.
Yeah, like, even if you romance, that's all you get.
That's fucking dumb. If you're in a romance, you should get a bit more of a visceral reaction than just, okay. Should be like fucking, you should be able to hear the relief in the man's voice.
It's like fucking Oddworld. Hello, follow me.
Okay. And then you all laugh because you pressed the fart button.
Yeah.
Going back to Citadel DLC quick, there is a great, and it was probably his last voice read, seeing as Zaid was his final role. But when you meet Zaid in Citadel, it's fucking great, because he's wasting all of his credits on a claw game machine. And he can't get the fucking toy that he's trying. I think it started with him trying to get it for a kid, but he couldn't do it, so he just keeps putting credits in. And he even mentions he's like 500 credits down or something. And your shepherd can just go, do you want a hand? Do you need some credits? He goes, I can pay for my own damn addiction, shepherd.
Well, that's a subtle jibe at EA and gacha crates.
Yeah.
Even back in those days.
Well, again, like you mentioned it, like I feel like Mass Effect was the first game, at least that I played, that had such a mechanic.
Yeah. Because even back then, mobile phones were not quite up to the spec that they are even in the past 5 years.
True.
Where they can run a like high quality gacha game with no issues. I think Fate Go was one of the earliest ones that are in the modern vein. But oh well.
I shrug. I don't know. I kind of have a visceral hatred for gacha games because a lot of them are fun.
Yeah,
but
they prey on the.
It's all about the want factor. It's all about the want factor. Yeah. Like, oh, look at this new Fate waifu. Oh, I want her. Like, we have a friend who has a problem, and we've confronted him and we've told him, I'm not going to name the friend. I'm not going to say numbers because I'm not here to shame anyone. But it's like, it's gambling, except if you win, you get a JPEG.
Mm-hmm.
It's not worth it.
You get to throw the JPEG at other JPEGs until one of the JPEGs falls down, and if you've not built them correctly, it's yours.
Well, here's the thing as well, is that, like, even if you... It's not even about that, it's just about having the fancy JPEG, because a lot of the maps in these gacha games are designed to be cleared even by free-to-play players.
Yeah, but also a lot of them are incredibly bullshit, and the idea is you are meant to think, oh, if I had the better character, I'd be doing better.
You're meant... Okay, yeah, their marketing is definitely aimed towards that, but I'm talking about Fate Go in particular, because I've played Fate Go quite a bit. And
yeah, fair enough.
Well, I don't do it because I've been incredibly lucky on the gacha. I have spent some money on it. I did some of the guarantees, not even going to lie.
Sure.
But, you know, if you've played the game for long enough, you're going to have a pool of good characters, because they're not dumb. One of the more important things... Okay, I've got to break this down a little bit. It's a 50-50 split about what the game wants. The game wants two things. They want you to, A, keep playing it, and B, they want you to invest money in the gacha. But here's the thing. Again, that a lot of people don't realise. Gachas win, or make the bulk of their income, not by everyone spending a little bit of money, but by getting 5 or 6 people to spend a lot of money.
Yeah. It's the 80-20 rule over and over again. 80% of the income is from 20% of the there's consumers, and that goes on and on and on until you've got like the top percentile of whales
Yeah.
that are just with an H.
Well, I remember about 7 years ago now. I can't remember the gacha game, but it was a very new one, and the developers had a party to celebrate landing their first whale.
Oh boy!
You know?
Oh no! Oh.
And at the end of the day, by the way, to become a whale, I'm using air quotes in this sense, 9 times out of 10, you have a mental illness.
Yeah, but also to become a turbo whale, you probably have to be a CEO.
Well, not even that, because again, credit cards exist, and that's a different fucking hole to go down, which is a problem.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the people that spend like $250,000 on one game.
And this is true, but you also don't know what they're doing. Some people actually get loans for this shit, man.
Yeah.
There's ways to get large amount of monies in short amount of time if that's what you want to do with your life. It's not a fucking good idea. And again, this is people who have issues in their brain. And that's not me using that as an insult. That's just a fact. Like,
I want $250,000 to buy a house and then actually just spend it on gacha.
Oh, jeez. The thought alone makes me a bit sick.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm sure there's stories out there of at least a couple of people doing that.
So today on episode 2 of Bitching About Fate during this episode, but it's not just Fate.
I would absolutely love to do an episode of Retro that's just me bitching about Fate. I'll make a script. I'll write out everything that I don't like about that series. I could probably fill 2 hours. Do you want to do it?
Maybe so. Maybe so. We'll figure it out.
I distinctly okay. Going back to our friend who likes Fate quite a bit. I do distinctly remember saying, "Hey, if we ever did a Fate episode, would you want to be on?" And his exact words were, "No, I don't want to listen to you shit on it for 2 hours." I'm like, I wouldn't shit on it, while also thinking, okay, I'll probably shit on it a bit.
Well, I think what you said early on, like very early on during when I first knew you, was if you can't admit that the thing that you love is at least a little bit stupid, then you've not been paying attention to it at all.
I like Spider-Man.
Yeah, I like Spider-Man. I like Marvel. I like Star Wars.
Go into the comics and they're fucking stupid.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and it's the same for like pretty much any fiction. Like there's going to be some stupid premise in every single bit of fiction.
I mean,
and you just got to take it as like the willing suspension of disbelief. Like, Superman, fucking stupidest thing in the universe. Why doesn't he just win?
you want to talk about stupid decisions, right? I hate Bloodborne. What's that on my shoulder, Rick?
Yeah. Good old Lady Maria.
Alright, I don't hate Bloodborne. I just don't like playing it. But, you know. Your
Bloodborne is my FF14. Like, we love everything about it apart from playing it. I've got, like, FF14 soundtrack on my phone. And I've only got, like, 800 tracks on my phone, and, like, maybe 100 of them are FF14.
I've got about 500 tracks on my phone. 20 of it is the retros, because I listen to them at work to make sure they're not shit. And 350 of them are random heavy metal bullshit.
Yep. I think the only actual metal I've got on my phone is Dragon Force.
I genuinely thought you were going to say like the SIM card or something.
SIM card.
I know the SIM card's not made of metal. I couldn't think of a part of a phone to use.
Yeah, the only metal on my phone is the transistors. Nah. Yeah, well, I told you about when I went to Dragon Force in my hometown, and Sabaton were opening for them.
Yeah.
That was my introduction to Sabaton.
Yeah. Man.
But
could reminisce all day about stuff like that. Now, go on. We're running a bit long in the tooth, and we got so sidetracked for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, that was actually going to be my next statement. We are running a bit long in the tooth, so I think we're going to get to our final 3. Do you have a favourite moment?
The entirety of the Citadel DLC. As out of place as it is the most fun part of the game, for me.
Sure.
But I think I've said it before, I'm a sentimental old soul. I like fluffy, dumb bullshit. You know?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, I know you didn't play it, so you can't really talk much about it, so I'll throw it back at you, Rick. Do you have a favourite standout moment from Mass Effect 3?
Here's the thing. It's going to be pick one. It's either going to be the Tuchanka bit or the Rannoch bit, and I'm probably going to give it to the Rannoch bit because we've been working towards a solution between the Geth and the Quarians for quite some time. We haven't had quite as much investment with the Solarians, so we've only had the Krogan side of it, and a
Well,
very small amount of Mordin.
I was
Whereas with the Geth and the Geth and the Quarians, we've basically seen both sides of it.
I mean, I was gonna say, like, if it wasn't for Morden being a party member in Mass 2, we wouldn't have any Solarian perspective on the Genophage. Full stop.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And, like, it's
Um,
even arguable that the only reason Morden even softens on it is because he's old. By
yeah,
Solarian standards, he's had time to think and dwell on things.
yeah. He's having like his late life crisis and thinking maybe the thing that I did wasn't the right thing, and taking a step back to look at the things that he's done.
Mm.
But yeah, I think I will have to give it to the Rannoch arc, where it's your personal resolution to the thing that you as a player have been working towards for this entire time, and you get to see both sides come together. And again, because I've not played Citadel, I can't pick it.
I get you, man.
But yeah, do you have a least favorite moment?
I think we're both going to say the same thing, and if you don't agree with me on this, then I don't know what the fuck you're going to say. The ending.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
It's so... Everyone was jaded on the original ending, and I'm not going to dwell on it too much, because if you go back in time by, like, what is it, like 6-7 years now?
Yeah. It's quite a while, yeah.
There was a ton of YouTube videos explaining gamers' side of things as to why they didn't like the Mass Effect endings. The reason I personally didn't, and a lot of people agree, is before the game came out, we were promised in a statement the end of the game isn't going to be, the ending's going to be A, B, or C. It's not going to be that. There's going to be many endings. I didn't really care how many endings the game had. But we were explicitly told you wouldn't have to pick between A, B, and C.
And then that's literally what we got.
Literally, the final confrontation is pick A, B, or C. What's the difference? To begin with, the only difference was the colour of the light on the ending scene.
Yeah, you get a different fucking cup. You get a different coloured cupcake.
Yeah. Fucking shit.
Yeah,
and to be honest, I don't think the DLC they put... I say DLC. The fixed ending really fixed any of the issues. It was better than what we had. Sure, I'll acknowledge that. That's fine. But, you know... Too little, too late.
Yeah. I feel you.
Now, just in case you have a different opinion, what's your weakest link, Rick?
It is mostly the ending, but I will have to do a little bit of sidetrack into the gimpy little ghost kid again.
Gimpy little ghost. Yeah, well, he's the ending as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's part of the ending. So I think it's part of the reason that people go by, like you said, people go by the indoctrination theory because it's the same gimpy little ghost kid going through all of his little shitty memories that shows up in the ending as well.
But at the same time, that's a shit ending. What's the ending of the trilogy that we've been going through the entire time? Oh, you failed.
Yeah. It's the fact that your world state basically doesn't matter to the ending, and that's the massive problem. Like in other BioWare games, your world state is everything.
Yeah.
Like your like Dragon Age 1, you get your little epilogue of like what are they doing now and all that. Dragon Age 2, I think they do the same, don't they?
Dragon Age 2 doesn't have one.
Okay. But yeah, it's one of those where it just feels like it ended too soon.
Mm. And also, another slap in the face as well that a lot of people got pissed about. Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
The head writer for Mass Effect 3, at least the one that ended Mass Effect 3, you know, I'm pretty sure they went through like several between Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 3, but whatever.
Yeah.
After the initial reactions, he tweeted out one simple thing. It's not the destination. It's the journey. It's like, that's not good enough. Not in video games. Not in video games, my friend. In real life, sure. Video games, no. This is the ending of a trilogy that people have been playing for years. You can't handwave it.
Yeah, you can't have the ending be zooming out to a caricature of the player, and the player's mum just comes in and turns off the console. That's not an ending. It'd be pretty funny, but it wouldn't be an ending. But yeah, well, you do get that nice little epilogue by Buzz Aldrin, though, don't you?
Was it Buzz Aldrin? I thought it was fucking Alec Baldwin.
I thought it was Buzz Aldrin when he's going, "Oh yes, my sweet."
Maybe.
Yeah, I think they got him in for it, but I could be wrong.
Well, he's passed away now. Do we have any of the original three?
I don't know.
I think. Who's the second man? He had a space sounding name as well, didn't he?
The second man was Buzz Aldrin. The first one was Armstrong.
Oh right, yeah. No, Buzz Aldrin's still with us. I'm thinking of Neil Armstrong. He's definitely passed away.
Yeah, Neil Armstrong's dead. Yeah,
I think Buzz Aldrin's still around. There's video from him from like 3 years ago punching a guy in the face.
Yeah. I happened to go to the London Space Museum on the day that he passed away.
Damn, that's weird.
Which is really weird. Like, we didn't plan it. Obviously, you can't.
Yeah, this random man from up north planned an assassination on Neil Armstrong just so when he got to the Space Museum, he could have the satisfaction.
Yeah.
That's not true, CIA man. Stop the snipers.
Didn't happen. Obviously, that didn't happen. But yeah, I think we've moaned about the ending, both in tandem. So for the last one, do you have an MVP?
It's going to be a weird one.
Okay.
Because I don't know who it is.
Okay.
But it's going to be whoever was in charge of most of the romance options and the writing behind it. Apart from Jacob, because that was piss poor and everyone knows it.
Yeah, where he just cheats on you, has another baby with someone else.
I don't want to be like my dad. He's not quite as bad as his dad, but, you know, he still fucking cheats, which is kind of... Well, his dad did something much worse, but, you know. But, yeah. I think a lot of the romances in this game are very well done, very handled quite well. And, you know...
Yeah. That was almost going to be my favourite moment, is just rekindling your past game romances.
I remember when Mass Effect came out, and there was a lot of news articles about forcing you to be gay because of Liara.
Oh, yeah, there were Fox News articles about that.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I say sorry, air quotes when I say news.
Yeah. Fox News.
Oh, fuck Murdoch. Is he fucking Fox News or is he just our news?
Yeah, he's Fox News. He's
he owns the Globe then.
Yeah, Fox is his thing. Like it's like the sun, sky. Fucking hell, that made it sound a lot more, ominous than I meant it to. And in case you can't tell, Dev is doing the wanker sound.
Well, you know, I feel like everyone who learns about him and his family should have a bit of resentment.
Yeah.
Let's not linger on that before we get fucking assassinated, even though we're fucking nobodies, but whatever. Yeah, that's going to be my favourite, my MVP, and I'm going to toss it back at you. Who's your MVP for Mass Effect 3?
I have two. One of them was a gag. The gag one is Marauder Shields.
No.
Have you ever heard of Marauder Shields?
You mean Garrus?
No, he's Marauder Shields. He's
and in the indoctrination theory, Marauder Shields is what you see, but it's really Garrus trying to stop you.
Yeah. Marauder Shields is a marauder who tried to save us from the ending, and his only name is the amount of shields that he has left. His name was Marauder Shields. But it's going to be my same MVP as last time, that you can fight like a Krogan and run like a leopard, but you'll never be better than Commander Shepard.
Man. Alright, okay. We need to talk about it very briefly before we go. The final pieces of dialogue before you do your final charge on the Crucible are pretty fucking top.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Like, you get that line with... Gun.
Even with Javik, he's been very critical of local culture until now, and now you basically get a choice to shake his hand or not.
Yeah, and you're a dick if you don't.
Well, you're a dick if you don't. But like he plans to go and commit suicide somewhere, because now that he's seen his purpose through to the end, he has nothing left to live for.
Yep.
but yeah, it's a little bit sad, but like put um, it's put his entire race's story to bed.
Well, it's also you're saying it's a bit sad, but Javik entirely is a depressing story anyway, because
Oh
he
yeah, yeah,
didn't
yeah.
choose to be given the role he was given, and Liara even makes a point of it when she first talks to him. He doesn't know anything. He's a
Mm.
warrior.
Yeah, he's a warrior. And it just so happens that he's the one that the VI kept alive because they're in like massive banks of guys
Yeah.
just in cryo coffins, and the VI just systematically turns one off to save power, and then another, until they're all just like sarcophaguses, and not none of them are still powered.
Hmm.
And Javix is the only one that's still active
Yeah.
that they know of.
Yeah. 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 And you've got I can't remember the exact. It's a whole rhyme, but the end bit is there is no shepherd without Vicarian, and then you do the fucking predator handshake with Garrus.
Yeah.
And then Garrus also makes you promise that makes a promise that if you go up before he does to save him a seat at the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's real
And
intense.
the last allied conversation you have in the ending is with Anderson, who's bleeding out
Yep.
because he goes up with you,
Yep.
but he's not going to make it. So you get to basically say goodbye to the guy that was there with you to give you a leg up to start it all.
And the whole reason he's bleeding out is because he takes a bullet for you from Tim.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that acronym.
Yeah. Yeah, good old Tim.
Yeah, man.
Martin Sheen.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can we give a shout out to Martin Sheen because he fucking owned that role.
Sorry, Michael Sheen. Martin Sheen's the is Bilbo.
Martin Sheen, Michael. Yeah, Michael
Yeah,
Sheen. Yeah,
yeah, it's Michael Sheen because Martin Sheen is Bilbo.
I didn't think his surname was Sheen.
He's young Bilbo.
I didn't think his surname was Sheen.
Oh well, I could be wrong.
Eh.
Oh, I might be thinking of the one from Good Omens. Yeah, I think he's Aziraphale from Good Omens. Oh well, my bad. I'm stupid.
Martin Sheen
Ignore me.
is the dude who plays a lot of biographical characters like Clough and Frost.
Fair enough. But yeah, ignore me. I'm stupid.
But yeah, no, fucking Charlie Sheen's dad is who we're talking about.
Yeah.
He's fucking nails it.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone does their job. Like even I've forgotten his name. Keith David, he nails it.
Yeah, Keith David. Yeah.
But it's hard to think Keith David ever not giving it 100%.
Yeah. And it was a weird one seeing Michael Sheen being a good guy, like pretty much around the same time in the Amazing Spider-Man, because he was Uncle Ben in that. So I just gone from seeing him as the elusive man to Uncle Ben, and you can't have two more diametrically opposed characters if you tried.
Okay, yeah, I never watched the Amazing Spider-Man films, so I've generally no clue on that.
Yeah, he's only in the first one.
Oh no shit! Uncle Ben doesn't make it past the first film. I'm shocked.
Well, what I was shocked about is that Gwen Stacy also made it past the first film.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure she died in the second, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
Shouldn't be laughing, but yeah.
there's two cardinal rules when writing for Spider-Man. One, you don't bring back Uncle Ben. Two, you don't bring back Gwen Stacy.
Unless it's Spider-Gwen.
Well, yeah, but in that canon, it's don't bring back Uncle Ben, don't bring back Peter Parker.
Yeah, because Peter Parker becomes the Lizard, and she has to kill him.
If your main character doesn't lose someone, if Spider-Man doesn't lose something close, they're not really Spider-Man yet.
Yeah.
It's always the catalyst. Like it's always Uncle Ben to start with, and later on, character development is Gwen Stacy. You can't save everyone.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, I am dancing for a piss, and we've
Well, can
done
we
our
say
closing
goodbyes?
segment. We've done our closing segment, so it's going to be a very heartfelt goodbye from me.
Right, Rick said that he needs to go, so I'm going to quickly just mute him. So he's now silenced. So while he goes for his jolly little fun, I shouldn't word it like that. I'll do the regular outro, I suppose. Oh, just bear in mind, if you're listening to the audio version, you can probably actually still hear him rustling as he walks away. Apologies for that. I'll try to remember to silence it, but no promises. It's me. I'm a bit silly. Or dumb, I should say. Right, sorry, let's crack on. We need to say goodbye, so to that end, Just bear in mind, if you're watching on YouTube, we've got the comment section down below if you want to have a little chat. Well, tell us what you liked, what you disliked. Give us suggestions for future episodes. It's all good. It's all good. It's all kosher. If you're not watching via YouTube, we do have an email address. Usually Rick throws to me or I throw to him, but I'm the only one here, so fuck it. If you want to send us an email and get in touch, that email address is nonsensereviewuk@gmail.com. Once again, that is nonsensereviewuk@gmail.com. And Rick's already said his goodbyes. He's having a wee. Haha. I'm going to say my goodbyes. And yeah, join us again next week where we'll have another retro, same time, same channel. And yeah, bye guys. I'm now going to wave while I mute myself on the YouTubes.